What do I really think of the skincare trifecta circulating around TikTok? You guys asked for it, let's discuss. Well, hey guys, welcome back to the video. If you're not aware, right now over on TikTok, there's this really popular trend in the skincare side of things regarding the use of 3 skincare products, and a couple of creators, 2 in particular, claim that using this routine really just got them significantly clearer, happier, healthier looking skin. So without further ado, I'm going to roll some of the TikTok so you get a little bit more background on the skincare trifecta.
I lovingly call it the trifecta. So my cleanser, and I do this twice a day, every day. I don't do the cleanser in the morning, but I do everything else every day, twice a day. So I do the Dial antibacterial hand wash. I like the white tea scent. This is my cleanser. That's what I use to take my makeup off. Sometimes you have to double cleanse if you have cake face. She is chef's kiss. Then I go in with my retinol, which is Neutrogena Retinol Pro. I started off with the Neutrogena Rapid Wrinkle Repair in the jar. Work up to her and work up to your retinol. It burned. I was flaking like a snake. I had breakouts because I was purging. It was no bueno. I wanted to go back home, but I pushed through, and I'm glad I did. Then for my moisturizer, I use Gold Bond. I go back and forth between this and another Gold Bond, but the Diabetics Dry Skin Relief Body Lotion. So that's my skincare. Dial, this Neutrogena, and Gold Bond. And every damn day, my skin gets better. I had hormonal acne. I had terrible skin texture. My makeup would not sit on my face. I'm 36. El terrible. I'm just saying, it works. Works for a lot of other people too. Love you, bye.
So basically, it's cleanse, moisturize, retinol. There's nothing totally outlandish about the essence of this routine. It's simple, effective. You cleanse to remove dirt, oil, and sebum from the skin surface. You moisturize to help with barrier function, and you use a retinol for the anti-aging properties of improving collagen, dark spots, redness, hyperpigmentation, improving skin texture. It's not an approved acne treatment per se, but prescription strength retinoids certainly can help clear acne. And if you have acne, you may find even using a cosmetic retinol to be to some extent beneficial. All right. But let's specifically get into the individual products promoted in this routine. What do I think about those? Do you absolutely need these? Are these really the best? What's going on here? Let's start with number 1, the Dial hand wash. Of this routine, I would say be cautious with the Dial hand wash. It's definitely not something I would recommend people use to wash their face. Now, that being said, there are unicorns out there that wash their face with hand soap, Dawn dishwashing detergent, and do just fine, okay? They are perfectly fine. They don't have a care in the world. Their skin is just, please just punch with that. But generally speaking, it can be very irritating for a lot of people because Dial hand wash is not a mild cleanser by any means. The pH is such that it can be quite disruptive to your skin barrier. And my main issue too with Dial, in particular Dial antibacterial, hand wash, bar soap, you name it, is that it has benzalkonium chloride and antiseptic in it, which on paper may sound good, cut down on bacteria that might contribute to breakouts, but in reality, should we really be using that on our skin daily? For what indication exactly? Because when you put undue pressures on your microbiome with regards to antimicrobials, it can have some untoward effects, namely emergence of resistant microbes. It can change your skin microbiome. And when we're talking about benzalkonium chloride, there is a concern of just putting it out there in the environment as it rinses down the drain, going out into the world and impacting bacteria and things that later on could make us sick. And while they've been exposed to this, they have a selective pressure. Maybe it influences how susceptible they are to the medications we use to treat diseases caused by these things. So I'm not a big fan of just the use of antibacterial hand soap, hand wash, bar soap for just basic hygiene purposes. Now, of course, there are situations where it is warranted, maybe around surgery, depending on the surgical site especially, but by and large, it is something that I encourage people to shy away from. One thing I forgot to point out here, I frequently recommend using a benzoyl peroxide wash to help cut down on body odor under the arms, the feet, and it's obviously used to treat acne. And you may be saying, well, what about that causing bacterial resistance? In contrast to benzalkonium chloride, benzoyl peroxide has not been shown to lead to the emergence of antibiotic resistance. In contrast, using benzoyl peroxide, when you do have to use antimicrobials, antibiotics, actually helps cut down on the overall risk of emergence of bacterial resistance. So it's not an issue with benzoyl peroxide, in other words, but it has been raised as a concern with benzalkonium chloride. When it comes to washing your hands, for example, we know that washing your hands with an antibacterial hand wash is no more effective than just washing your hands with a plain hand wash. But instead, you are just putting pressures on the bacterial communities on your skin and out in the environment to develop resistance. So not a huge fan in that regard. And like I said, can be really drying, really irritating. I instead will suggest people to just use a mild basic cleanser, a facial cleanser of your choosing. And I have lots of recommendations here on this channel with regards to mild cleansers. I'll even put a link down below in the description box to some of my favorites. But listen, if you are using dial hand wash and that seems to have made a difference for you, don't necessarily feel as though you have done something wrong, that the derm police are going to come knocking at your door and pry it from your cold, dead hands, as they like to say. Now, what about the moisturizer? If you guys are new here, welcome. I am a fan of Gold Bond moisturizers. I use them myself, and many of them are formulated and marketed as moisturizers for body and for face. There's a lot of apprehension out there when it comes to moisturizing. People are like, can I actually put a body cream on my face? You can. Now, some people find that because body creams are thicker in consistency, they feel a little heavy, a little greasy. Doesn't work out for everyone. But I always suggest people try their body creams, their body lotions on their face, because there's really nothing about them that says you can't do that. They're great moisturizers, and if you tolerate it, it works for you, well, it just saves you a lot of having to buy this, that, and the other. Keeps things even more streamlined. So huge fan of that. See no problem with Gold Bond being the moisturizer of choice. Gold Bond has a ton, right? Ton of moisturizers. Y'all know my 2023 Gold Bond favorite, like I discovered, and it was, is a product I continue to use and see benefits from, although I'm only using it on my body, is the Gold Bond Age Renew Retinol. It's great for rough skin texture. It has retinol in it. It also has urea and some peptides, hyaluronic acid. So, you could do the skincare Trifecta, I don't know if we call it that, and just use a cleanser and this moisturizer if you really wanted to keep things as minimal as possible, because it does have retinol in it. Okay, let's talk about retinol. I can't help but notice a lot of people are using one of my favorite cosmetic retinols, Neutrogena's Rapid Wrinkle Repair Regenerating Retinol, or their Retinol Pro Plus. Those are great options from Neutrogena. I've said this before, I love Neutrogena retinols because Neutrogena, a Johnson & Johnson company, they've been doing retinols for a long time. They earned my trust long before I was ever on YouTube as a over-the-counter cosmetic retinol to recommend to patients, and you will see me recommend it over and over again. Full disclosure, I am sponsored by Neutrogena. I do a lot of sponsored promotional content over on Instagram and TikTok with them. So there is that, but like I said, I have been a long time user, recommender, fan of Neutrogena products, and their retinols are some of the best in the industry, in my opinion. I also have recommendations for other retinols out there. If you're not interested in those, in the description box, I'll give you a link to some other retinols I recommend if you just want to have a list of some options. All right, so cleanse, moisturize, retinol. Why the retinol, and do you absolutely have to have a retinol in order to achieve clearer, healthier, brighter, more radiant, happier skin? No, you don't need to use it. What does it do? Well, it helps to improve the rate at which the skin cells of the epidermis mature, so you do get smoother, clearer skin in that regard. It also helps to normalize the turnover of the cells lining your pore, so it can help cut down on blackhead and whitehead formation. By smoothing the skin surface out, you get not only an improvement in texture, but you also start to get an improvement in barrier function. Like one of the creators pointed out, She had a lot of irritation in the beginning. That's common with retinol, but with time it actually enhances and improves the integrity of your skin barrier, improves production of some of the components of your skin barrier. And if you deal with hyperpigmentation, a retinol can help in improving hyperpigmentation. And it also, with long-term consistent use, will get converted to retinoic acid in your skin, and it will stimulate production of collagen, improve collagen production, and that can have a wrinkle smoothing effect, and it can just improve firmness, plump up the skin. So it has anti-aging benefits. Retinol is probably one of, if not the most evidence-based cosmeceutical that you can come across. That and, you know, a handful of other ingredients, but it really is the one that it's like if you were to incorporate anything for an anti-aging effect, it would be retinol, but it would really be, I mean, if you're not already doing it, it's not included in this trifecta, so I don't even know how good can this routine be. That is sunscreen, sun protection. I'm pretty sure these creators use sunscreen, but it's just not part of what they call the trifecta. I'm almost certain the one does because I've heard her speak about it. But yeah, sun protection is imperative for you know, keeping your skin healthy long term. Wearing a sun protective hat when you're outdoors, seeking shade, not going out and trying to get a tan. Not only does attempting to tan prematurely age your skin, but it makes all of these issues that you're seeking to improve with like the retinol significantly worse and like resistant to any potential beneficial effects you might achieve with the retinol. So without sun protection, the retinol is completely useless. Now, all that to say, like, is a retinol a must-have? Like, you know, you can kind of almost feel a bit FOMO if you tried a retinol, you found it too irritating, it didn't work out for you, and now you're getting, you know, TikTok after TikTok of gals with clear, radiant, glowy skin telling you, oh my gosh, retinol is what got me here. Love my retinol, and you're like, oh my God, I've got to try it again. Well, you know, you don't necessarily have to use retinol. It is not a must-have to helping to improve your skin. So long as you're protecting your skin from the sun and staying consistent with the basics of cleansing and moisturizing, and, you know, maybe reassess whatever cleanser it is that you're using. If you are using Dial, and you're like, why is my skin texture so much worse? Well, it's probably drying out your skin because it's, you know, a little harsh. So, you know, these gals may be the exception in the Dial hand wash cautionary note. Okay, so that statement you hear over and over again across the board, what works for one person will not work for another. So be cautious of the Dial hand wash. Make sure you're protecting your skin from the sun. You know, other stuff can be helpful potentially, depending on where it is you're starting from. And, you know, I definitely see improvement with certain ingredients myself, and I recommend them in certain situations, but they're not like must-haves, and don't feel as though you cannot get to skin improvement without these. If you have an underlying skin condition, you know, sticking to a really basic skincare routine of cleansing, moisturizing, it will support your skin, but it's the right treatment that you need that's really gonna make a difference. And what that is for you will depend on your diagnosis and you, the individual. So seeing a board certified dermatologist is really the right way to go about getting on a path to controlling whatever it is that you are affected by, whether it be acne, rosacea, melasma. There's not really a skincare routine per se that is going to guarantee improvement from those things. In most cases, there's going to be some treatment that's going to be necessary. While some of these things can improve with time, we see that all the time in dermatology. People's skin conditions spontaneously going away, clearing up. A lot of times you're going to need a prescription treatment or an over-the-counter treatment. You're going to need specific guidance on what to use. But all that to say, this is definitely not the worst TikTok trend I have seen out there. I think it's great that people have found benefit from just a basic routine of cleansing, moisturizing, and retinol. And I'm happy that it's not some over-the-top, unobtainable path to stratum corneum destruction. All right, y'all, let me know in the comments if you have seen, heard, read about the skincare trifecta over on TikTok. Have you ever heard of someone washing their face with Dial hand wash Or let me know if some of you, I've even seen comments from some of you admitting that you wash your face with Dawn dishwashing liquid. Gasp! I don't know if I can continue to have you watching my videos. I am being sarcastic. Dawn is not something I would recommend people wash their face with. I caution people with hand eczemas, as a side note, to be really careful with Dawn dishwashing, because you can get dishwashers' hands, aggravate your hand eczema because it's a strong detergent action. I mean, it's meant to go in there and break up oil and grease stuck on your pan, not meant for skin. But like I said, there are unicorns out there who are doing just fine washing their face with Dawn dishwashing liquid. All right, y'all, I hope you enjoyed this quick and to the point video on yet another skincare trend over on TikTok. Probably by the time it goes up, the trend will have passed and people will have forgotten about it, and there'll be some new iteration of a skincare hack. All right, y'all, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and as always, don't forget, sunscreen and subscribe. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.